Hi, English 111 students. Welcome to Module 3. First of all, I want to just make point out a few things about the class itself. So we've done several modules up to this point, and hopefully you've noticed the pattern that the modules themselves open up and are available to you the Friday before the Monday that they are officially starting. That is to give you that last weekend of the previous module to finish things up, get that stuff submitted and ready to grade so you can move on, but also so you can look ahead into the new module the next 2 weeks, plan what you need to do. You can look at the discussion board, see what that question is, and see what you've got to prepare to post. You can look ahead at the journal, you can look ahead at the essay. That way you've got a chance to plan around your busy lives, because I know all of us have lives. I get that. So yeah, just notice that the modules are always going to open on a Friday before they officially start the following Monday, and use that to your advantage so that you can plan. The other thing you've probably noticed is that my grading is typically one module behind, and that's because I wait until everything for the module is in, and then I go through and start grading. Although I've been reading your discussion boards and everything up to this point. If anything jumps out at me or I feel like the class needs guidance somewhere, of course I'm going to jump in. I'm not just going to wait to the end of the module. But so far, everything's been looking great, and I'm actually really excited to read your narrative essays that are coming up soon. So for Module 3, we are going to be looking at a new type of essay. So you finished the narrative for Module 2. The next essay is going to build on those narrative skills. This is the definition essay. The definition essay is it's an interesting way of writing, and it's something that we don't always do. And it builds on the creative skills of the narrative, where you're using strong details and powerful verbs and everything to kind of tell a story that has action or meaning to it. The definition is going to use those same ideas. It's just this time you're going to apply them to a word or a phrase that is complex and has meaning for you. If this is confusing, it's totally fine. Let me give you an example. One year I had a student write about football. Now, at first, this seems really plain and straightforward. Football is a game with 11 guys on each side, and you play on this field that has yard lines, and you have all these rules, and one's the offense, one's the defense, the quarterback, and the running back, and all this stuff. But really and truly, football is much more than just that. To him, and in his definition, he talked about how football was the one thing that he and his father could bond around. Everything else was hard and difficult about that relationship. But when football was on, or when they were talking about football, they were friends. They were able to have a conversation. So football represented deep relationship. This student had also played football, and so his understanding of the football team, the practices, the two-a-days, the weight room workouts, all of that built that camaraderie and that brotherhood. That's what football meant. So his definition essay defined football, but in these really meaningful personal terms. Another thing that you'll probably notice in this module is that the readings will do kind of help you see a good example of that kind of writing. For the definition essay, one of the readings that you'll do, I think, is one of my favorite readings out of English 111. It's called What is Poverty? Poverty could easily be defined with just numbers. It's if a family of 4 makes less than whatever the number is. But this essay goes way beyond that, and it's a very personal experience of poverty. So for your definition essay, you'll be doing quite the same thing. Pick a term or a phrase that has a lot of meaning for you, that is complex, that is something that you'll be able to express and develop for an audience. And that way, as the reader, I learn something new. I learn something new about the term. I learn something new about the writer, and I start to see this term in a new way. That's the purpose of the definition essay. Finally, the kind of the element of an essay that we're going to focus on with the definition is the intro paragraph. intro paragraphs are hard. I usually write them last. If I'm writing an essay, I know what my thesis is, like I know what my point is. I'll write the rest of the essay because I think the body of the essay is the most fun to write. And then I'll come back and craft the intro. Be sure to read the intro document for this module. It's got some interesting ideas and ways to think about the intro paragraph. I'll give you a quick hint here. It works like a funnel. The intro paragraph, we're often told, should be like the hook and it should grab the reader's attention. And that puts a lot of pressure on a writer. It feels like, oh my gosh, I've got to entertain these people and make it real exciting. Not really. Another way to think about it that I think is more helpful is to think about it like a funnel. The intro paragraph begins really broadly. You might not even mention your topic. You're mentioning just big, broad ideas. And then you slowly narrow down to your topic, and then you slowly narrow down to that last sentence, which is your thesis statement, the point that you're going to prove in that essay. So take a look at that intro document. Pay close attention to your intro paragraph. You're going to be sharing it on the discussion board in the first week of the module. So go ahead, take a look at everything that's in the module when it opens up on that Friday before it officially starts. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with.